Hi everyone, this is Nadia. I'm an occult specialist that uses spiritual intelligence to empower entrepreneurs into a health-empowered money story to live a balanced life. On today's round, we are going to be covering the triad, which is a triangle, not a heart shape, of empowerment. Okay, so lots has been spoken about what empowerment is, and every person, their 9 cats, their 3 dogs, their turtle, their 2 cousins wants to talk about empowerment today. But in society, we rarely find people that are actually empowered, and empowered simply means that you are in your power. Now, there are many places personally that I'm still working to empowerment with. There are many places that I help people with empowerment with, but lots of people think that subscribing to a fake notion of what materialistic, shallow, vain, and trite society is empowerment. It's empowerment of being a sheep, and if you're a sheep, you're not empowered. Basically, you have a little elite sheep lifestyle, as I call it. Real empowerment is real hope, it's real change, it's real transformation. It's doing the difficult and hard work that most people desperately want to avoid. When it's served up on a platter to them, they simply want to avoid it because, no, it's too difficult. I don't want to look at myself. It's too painful, it's too difficult. I don't have the resources to cope with it. And first and foremost, I don't have the industrial or inner strength to be able to cope with all of it, because I understand why people turn to substances. I understand why people turn to alcohol. I understand why people turn to, a hollow lifestyle. I understand all of it, and it's not a judgment from my part. What I'm trying to say is that I think it takes real courage, and I have so much respect for people who venture down a journey of really healing. So I think a lot of people think healing basically is, go sit on a yoga mat. Although that's cool. I'm a hot yoga aficionado. I love it. Or just meditate. Or do something that's just peaceful. That's not really healing. Healing is having to process all those emotions. Having to process the maelstrom of the category 5 hurricane that is brewing inside you, the shitstorm that brews inside you, and still show up for life and still don't look like you've lost your mind. Lots of people on a spiritual journey, or lots of people on a journey to be more visible to themselves, to understand themselves, to understand their reality, are constantly wondering, who am I? Where do I fit into this world? If you've never questioned that, then you've really never dug deep enough into yourself, which comes from that little triangle that I kind of did with my with my hands, basically, and it's the triad of empowerment. Now, the triad of empowerment has 3 major players, so to speak. 2 of them we are very accustomed to hearing. I was looking for the word accustomed and forgot it. We're accustomed to hearing them because everybody wants to talk about them, because everybody thinks they're the same thing and they're not. The apex of the pyramid, or the apex of the triangle, is things that people don't often talk about. But it's something that is a Spartanite speciality, and I talk about it a lot because it is an occult power, and the occult provides you that level of power. And people who do not practice what we do and do not follow our way of life, they may still have the boldness, but it can be easily transferred into the occult, or somebody that practices the occult usually has it. So let's start with this little triangle. So we've got this side, and we've got this side, and we've got the apex. So we've got esteem, we've got confidence, and we've got boldness. So 3 things: esteem, confidence, and boldness. Okay. Let me try and explain this from a place of a cake, basically. The esteem is the actual sponge of the cake, whether it's chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, or whatever other fancy little flavors you guys want to come up with. Cool. The confidence is the frosting or the icing on the cake, and the boldness is like the little sprinklings, the cherries, all that stuff that makes the cake look appetizing and appealing in your eyes. All layers are important. There are going to be people that watch this and think, yeah, well, I don't really care how the cake's decorated as long as it tastes good, or, I like a cake that looks better than it tastes better. Lots of people have their own kind of thoughts on things. Esteem is the internal part of you. Confidence is the external part of you. And boldness can only come when you are confident in that frosting. Like, okay, yeah, this tastes good. Cool. Let's start putting the sprinklings on top of it. If that frosting don't taste good, the icing don't taste good, take it back off. You have to start again. So what does this layer of cake, what does this triad of empowerment, the layer of cake, actually teach us as people? Alright, so esteem comes from inside. Esteem comes from how much you value yourself, how much you choose yourself, how much even in a difficult situation you say, no, this is my boundary, this is my limit, I will not be betraying myself, I will not be hurting myself, I will not be abusing myself to fit into a place where I am choosing other people over myself. That is something I personally, it was a very big lesson I needed to learn. I used to struggle with low esteem because I never knew my worth, and it's very much it's a journey and it's a process. Basically, it's in progress, so to speak. I help many people with that, and I've helped myself a lot with that as well. And when you truly know what you're worth, you never ever settle by default. You never settle for something that's below your worth. You just it's not for you, and that's fine. So esteem is always in the internal. It's always the thought process that's going on, or the feelings that are going on of things like, I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not handsome enough, I'm not good enough, I have to show the whole world my most innermost things of what I'm doing on social media or telling people, because you know what, just deep down I don't feel like I'm anything. Yeah, I've seen this so much in my life, it's just a little wild, man. Elite lifestyles always sort of remind me of this. I am a former model. I talk as a former model. I have seen those industries are very vain. They're very shallow. They're very narcissistic. And people are very gaudy. They're very in your face about things. It's all a glitz and glamour of who knows who, or how beautiful you are, how skinny you are. You're constantly merited and measured on everything that is in the external, hence your internal fails. And I hope that's making sense to a lot of people. If you're constantly picked on and said, you know, you're not beautiful, or, you know, you have to lose more weight, or, you know, your jawline is not sharp enough, or, you know, your hair is not thick enough, it's less about the external of confidence. What it starts to tell you in no uncertain terms is, I'll never be enough. No matter what I do, no matter how good I look, how rich I am, how beautiful my house is, it's just never gonna be enough for me, man. It's just, I'm empty, and that's why I'm doing all this. So that's really healing the esteem process. Healing the esteem process is getting away from people that are toxic, getting away from people who you feel bad about yourself around them. I remember, this is quite a while ago, probably about a year ago or something. I was in the company of this man where every time I sat in front of him, it's like my heart used to drop. Like, I just felt like no matter what I was doing, I was never successful enough with Spartanite. I was never rich enough. I was never beautiful enough. I was never enough. Like, I could have never, ever measured up. And I realized very quickly, being clairsentient psychic, and clairsentient simply means clear feeling in French, that I was picking up his emotions. So it was not me who had the problem. I think I look fine, and I think Spartanite is doing fine, and I think I have a lot to offer. But when I sat in front of this individual, it was like, it was never enough. And I realized his emotions were literally, as a mix of a clairsentience and being an empath, they were sort of drowning into me. So I got myself away from him. You always have to, if you're spiritually sensitive, you always have to pay attention to how your body feels around people. I really couldn't care less what people say, how they act, how much money they have, where they want to take me, what they want to do, where they want to hang out. If my body feels off around you, bye. I haven't got time for this. My body has never lied to me. My body is the most trustworthy thing in my whole life. It's never lied, and it's got me out of the most difficult situations in this world. And I endeavor every single person watching this, when you make friends with your body, it's a process, and your body will tell you what you need to know and what you don't need to know. So that's your esteem. Your esteem is basically that cake base layer, like the actual cake that you're eating. Is it moist enough? Is it soft enough? Does it taste nice? Is the sugar enough? Eggs, if you're putting them in, were they enough? Is the flour chewy? Was it nice? You know, there's like a nice blend of like a really rich and smooth cake that you can eat. Okay, let's move upwards. So we've got the cake ready and we're all excited and we're like, yay, now we're gonna add the next layer, which is confidence. Confidence is external. The first thing we see about a cake is maybe the icing on top of it, or we don't know what it tastes. We're just looking at the cake like, oh, that looks nice, right? So we're looking at the external. Confidence is simply how you present yourself. It's presenting yourself in a manner that elicits a good response out of people, in a manner that feels like you are deserving. Confidence is about a deservingness, and esteem is about a worthiness. If you feel deserving of something, you will typically and traditionally go into a place without any hesitation. Confidence is how we show up without hesitation, basically. And when you show up without hesitation, people take notice of that very quickly. They're like, okay, well, this person doesn't look nervous. Confidence is simply the absence of nervousness. Now, somebody can ask me, Nadia, I really like this woman, but I'm nervous. That's normal. I like this man, I'm nervous. Or I got a job interview, I'm nervous. Or I got a driving test, I'm nervous. And oh my god, I'm starting my new business, I'm nervous. And I'm meeting my partner's parents, I'm nervous. You know, and that's normal. That's cool. That's all nervousness. And the trepidation is, part of it is a little bit of excitement. Nervousness and excitement are two sides of the same coin, right? So you're kind of like, how do I do this? What am I doing? Where am I going? Confidence is simply saying, I'm going to feel whatever fear it is, cool, and I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway, which is part of courage as well, because to have confidence in something, you need to have the courage to face it. If you're confident in an area, it's because you're courageous enough that you'll be able to mettle and secure a result that is within your favor. I've made very many videos about this, and I give my own example that I never had a problem with confidence. Like, I would go in and I would step into a place and I would actually get whatever I wanted to just because I was confident. My problem came from esteem. It was the worthiness of, am I really worthy of this? Which is, lots of people simply think that confidence and esteem are the same things, and they are not, and I can guarantee you that. I had very high confidence but very low esteem. Thankfully, my esteem is in a much better place today, and I definitely know that I am both deserving and worthy of nice and beautiful things and good, and only good people in my life. Okay, so, you know, that confidence is like the little icing, the frosting all on top of it, and you start to pick up confidence, meaning that, you know, you feel like, okay, well, yeah, I can show up, I can get this done. Hey, look at me, man. And you feel proud of yourself. All right, so most people kind of go to kind of that level, and they talk about the esteem and they talk about the confidence, but they don't talk about the apex of the pyramid, which is something Spartanite specializes in, and that's boldness. Okay, a lot of people think confidence is boldness. No, it's not. I've known tremendously confident people, right? And they are secure. Confidence is a sense of security within yourself. You don't need to be gaudy and shallow and cheap, especially about your material wealth, especially about your connections, especially about who you are, where you are, how you are. What is boldness? Boldness is simply fearlessness. It is the ability to look somebody in the eye, whether it's a crowd, whether it's a room, whether it's one-to-one in a person, and tell somebody exactly how you feel without the hesitance and the repercussion of what they will say next. Boldness is calling the truth for what it is. If someone's an asshole, you don't try and say, well, you know, you'll get used to him. No, he an asshole, we gonna call him that. That's it. And boldness is simply calling a spade a spade. Boldness is showing up with that vigor, that command, that strength, and that power. There are 4 elements of boldness, like I've mentioned, obviously: vigor, command, strength, and power. And each of them hold their own tenets on the sprinklings, such as the hundreds of thousands, or the little skittles that you put on top of the cake, or you put the flowers on top, all like the fancy stuff on top of it. I often say that boldness is an occult force. Boldness is what champions are made of. You can be knocked down 7 times, you'll get up 10. Boldness simply does not take no for an answer for life. There are a lot of people, and I've had this conversation with a lot of people who say, go with the flow, see where life takes you, which is, it's a good thing. Theoretically, I believe in that. Practically, I don't. I am the type of person, because I was very sure that I wanted success. And a lot of people will watch this basically. Just please ignore the ringing phone in the background, because I can't stop this video now, or I might just take it off. Hang on. Thank you. That's what happens. And I can't obviously stop a video when I'm recording it, and I don't want to, because I don't want to go back from scratch. So what happens is that people think that this boldness situation only comes from a place of, I really need to like work my way into it. Some people, they need to work their way into it, and some people, they're naturally born with boldness. My father was a very bold man, so he gave me that genetic gift of boldness. And like I was gonna go back and say before, that ringing phone completely threw me off, which is absolutely why I hate getting distracted when I'm making videos, because half the time I'm channeling my work. So boldness is an occult force, and like I said, when you're kicked down 7 times, you get up 10. People don't often know what to do with you. It's like, well, now what? And you know, like people are saying, go with the flow, and just allow people, allow things to come your way. Yeah, that's nice. That's passive. For me, I'm not a passive person in life. I'm not a passenger in life. I knew from a very young age that I wanted to be successful, and there will be people, I'm back to my train of thought. So there are people who will watch this and think, oh, you're controlling, oh, no. Controlling means that you're trying to control somebody else's life. I have no interest to control anyone's life on this planet. I couldn't care less, because the only person I want to control is myself. I practice magic because I like controlling my own situations in life, not because I want to control people, okay? I'm not a very patient person in terms of just kind of waiting to see what life gives me. I have never been that type of person. My personality is very geared. It does very well with the occult, because if we want something, we get it. We don't care how long it's going to take, we're going to get it, because that's just the way we are. So most people will say, go with the flow. I say that to people, yeah, let people show you who they really are. But if you got a situation and you want it bent your way, I want to say this to people very clearly, that not everybody has the privilege of leveraging, manipulating, and bending time, space, and the threads of time to be able to bring what you have. If you do that, take full advantage of it. That's what I say. Boldness is something that comes from a fearlessness, or a place of power, a place of vigor, a place of command, a place of strength. So what does each of those 4 mean, basically? Well, strength is sort of self-explanatory. You're just strong, basically. Strong in our society is typically seen from a masculine standpoint. Oh, this guy can bang weights in the gym. He's physically strong. He can box. Strength is not just physical strength, it is emotional strength as well. It is the strength that we can't see to be able to persevere. It is mental strength. How strong can your mind be? A lot of people mistake strength just for physicality. If you are emotionally and mentally weak, no amount of physical strong body is going to help you, because in the grand scheme of life, you're a very weak person and you're defenseless. All right, so that's number 1, we done. That's strength. Right, vigor. Vigor is very closely tied into vitality. It is the virility like a man has, or it has, again, it comes from strength, but it has applied strength is how I would describe vigor, basically. It's applied strength. It's giving your 110 to everything that you do, and showing up in full account and full accord. Number 3, what was it? Command. Yes. Command is one of those things where when you speak into the world, your throat chakra, your throat is very empowered, your voice is very strong, and people listen to you because you have an air of authority, an air that people are like, okay, well, this individual knows what they're talking about, I better shut up and listen. There are people, like I think of public speakers, and they're okay, their message might be good, but their delivery is boo. I'm kind of like, nah, we can't sit and listen to you, because there's no strength behind those words, basically. And then to tie all of that up into boldness, one word only: power. A person who is bold is very powerful, because a lot of people are not bold. Now, somebody can ask me this question about boldness and arrogance. Boldness is not arrogance. Arrogance is somebody that's just ignorant and they're egotistical, and they feel like they are a cut above the rest due to maybe material wealth, due to looks, due to something, you know, as though we can't completely rearrange their life practicing the occult, but there's that. Arrogance is people who think they're untouchable. They think that they're better than everybody else. Boldness does not care about, if I'm a bold person, I don't sit there and think, well, I'm better than this person. No, that's a very wrong way of looking at things. Boldness is simply coming and speaking your truth. It's like that saying, arrive, raise hell, go. That's it. So when you look at that triad of empowerment, there's that esteem, which is what are you feeling inside? What's your worthiness level? What's your worthiness quotient? Confidence, which was on your left, my right, I think. Confidence is the external, basically. It is your deservingness. It is how much can you show up and quell those nerves down. Boldness is just obviously speaking that fearlessness, that truth, that strength, and really doing it very gracefully and beautifully. People who are bold, there is a sense of grace to boldness because it is so contained and restrained, and it sort of reminds me of the aim of an assassin or a sniper. It is very, very targeted. There's nothing sloppy or shabby about it. It's very intense. And obviously with boldness, you know, you can have all the cherries, the sprinkling on the cake and everything. You know, there is that sense of okay, well, there's 4 other things, which obviously, like I said, is strength, there's vigor, there's command, and obviously to tie all those up at the top as well, maybe like there's a nice little rose, or, you know, maybe like the beautiful centerpiece on the cake is power. And power, when it radiates from a person, is a very frightening concept. Most people have never seen real power in an individual, let alone a woman. So they think power equals a lot of money, and they think power equals someone's influence, and they think power equals strength. Those things can come under what can help you gain a certain level of power. Real power is primal. It's primal. It's strong. It's just powerful. And the truly powerful don't beg. We don't engage with people who don't respect our power, and we don't flex our power. If someone's truly powerful, they're usually quiet and humble. They usually are, because they don't need to sit and brag for the next half an hour about who they are, where they're from, what they can do, what they can't do. They're just quiet, you know. If someone's truly powerful, they often don't say anything because they don't feel the need to say anything. We live, like I've said previously before I conclude this video, we live in a very narcissistic world where people are all about image. People are all about, almost to a sick and disgusting level, where you need to know everything they're doing, or you know, that the most inner private moments, you need to know everything. Why, man? What is wrong with you? Are you that desperate for people's approval that we need to see everything you're doing? There is power in silence, as the Scorpio inside me would say. There is power in people not knowing who you are, what you do, where you're from, and where you're going. And there is power in just keeping good things to yourself. Not because people think, oh, well, you know, you need to get a new circle if, you know, people are not happy for you. Most people will never be happy for you. Please accept things for what they are and stop trying to force people to be happy for you. Most people are not even happy for themselves. How are you expecting them to be happy for you? If you're winning at life, keep your mouth shut, keep your money shut, keep everything shut. That is the triad of empowerment. Power resides from silence, and there are a lot of people, because they are mentally and emotionally immature and behave like children, they have no concept of real power. Power is not a childish thing. You do not give a child a loaded gun and expect them to start shooting because you know the end result. This is why people often think the occult is evil, magic is evil, blah, blah. No, it's not. You have to put it in the hands of someone that is trained. They are mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and all types of psychosexually mature to be able to handle that level of weapon that is in their hand that can be used for any purpose. So the triad of empowerment: work through your esteem levels, work through your confidence levels, and with that, with your confidence, as you start to speak the truth, you start to find more who you are, the boldness will come naturally. Okay? Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm super interested to hear what you guys have to say. And if you have any questions about esteem, confidence, and boldness, and how we can help you at Spartanite achieve all three, hit me up in the comment section below, or with our contact details, support@thespartanite.com, which you can find in the comment section below. Chat to you guys soon. Bye.